All right. Welcome back. Welcome back to Let's Talk About It. I'm back with my good brother, Nicholas J. This time we're going to do something a little different. I know the last couple of episodes, we was wilding out a little bit, talking about some current events, and then we kind of went off the rails and had a little fun. Well, we want to bring it back, a little more serious tonight, this time. Talking on a subject that has been spoken about more and more over the last few years, and that's mental health. My partner right here, he's gonna get into some of his background. I know he's an ex-veteran, ex-military. Talk about things of that nature. And at some point, you say we've talked off the record. You had like a nervous breakdown. Mm-hmm. You've also been to therapy and things of that nature too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I just want to kind of go through all of those steps, some early indicators, some of the things you went through, what led you up to that breakdown, and some of the things you've learned since then to manage whatever caused it. You know what I'm saying? All right, before we continue, y'all hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, share, comment, share it with a friend. Hopefully something said here will resonate and hopefully help somebody along the way. All right. Before we really get into it, how you doing, man?
Hi, boss.
Tired. How was your day, bro?
Oh man, I went down to Emporia, finish up this place at for a friend of the family, and then after that, stopped by my pops, took him lunch, and then realized I needed a battery, so.
Yeah, thankfully you made it. I know you hit me up. Thankfully you made it back to the crib, okay?
Yeah, man. So we only took care of that. I was able to squeeze in the drop off of one of the custom tumblers to Bernadette.
Okay.
So and so that was just it. Work, then that, and now back at work.
Yeah. Hey, it's always something, man. Like I said, that's why we're gonna go and knock this out and have the discussion and let you, I know you're tired, bro. Okay. Let's do it like this. Give a brief, summary of, where you were born, where you come from, and where you grew up at real quick.
Okay, brief summary. I was actually born in Alaska, Anchorage, Alaska. My dad was in the military. Was pretty much raised in Freeman, Virginia, which is probably about 15 minutes away from Emporia. So I was raised in the country, but as I got older in the high school time is when I pretty much finished my years in Emporia. That's where I'm from in a nutshell.
Okay. And look, we're gonna get right to it. Okay. At some point, you have different things in your background, and I'm gonna ask the question, I'm gonna allow you to go as far back or whatever you need to, as comfortable as you're comfortable discussing. You at some point you say you had a nervous breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
Can you discuss the elements or things that either led up to it or that you learned led up to that? Talk about that. Talk about the actual breakdown. I might jump in and ask some questions in between. Go ahead.
All right. So we're talking about mental health, right?
Yes, sir.
We'll just get straight to the point and be blunt about it. Like my grandfather took his life, and I was a little boy. I'm just gonna get straight to it.
All right. Wow. Okay.
And so I was really as a young child, it was real traumatizing. Nobody really when you're downside, when you're in the country, it's like you don't really talk about a lot of things, so you just try to manage it the best you can. But just to put this into you guys' mind that are watching and listening to this, just think about kids that are in elementary school that, for one actually finds their grandfather on the ground, and then
hold on. Wait. So you found your grandfather?
No, one of my cousin did. I wasn't.
It was a child that found your grandfather.
We were all the same age, but my cousin did. Yep.
Okay.
And
Oh,
then
continue.
for me to get to the house, we got to the house and the ambulance was there. And for me to could see my grandpa laid on the ground with the shotgun right beside him, so that took me, I had to be in my 20s before I really kind of got over that. I remember like it was yesterday when I was in Criminal Creator Justice Academy and they were talking about suicides and stuff. And yeah, I just broke down in that class crying and stuff because like, it's real life and it's something and I was upset about a lot of things with my grandpa because I feel like he was supposed to do a lot of things. He promised me some things, but it didn't come to pass. But that's what for me, just fighting with that whole thing because I was supposed to have
So, so up until that point, you hadn't really expressed any like emotion, anything concerning it. You dealt with it. You saw, you knew what happened.
And we went
You
to the
had
funeral.
anything like that.
Yeah, that was the first time where in that class, that was the first time something ever really triggered that. And I don't know how did it. I just know it happened in that class, and they were talking about suicide. And it just like opened up a wound that was closed for 15 years, and because it was never really addressed,
Okay, so from that moment on, did you continue to deal with that, or was that just a moment and you went on, or what happened from there?
So for me in that situation, that was something that, it was like it was still inside of me, and I had to just, you want to be strong, you want to be tough, you want to just keep on pushing and moving on and leave it, putting things and your feelings on the back burner. So
Right.
when we fast forward to like more recent things, then I'll be able to explain to you more which caused my big.
Continue on with your story, with your journey. Continue on.
So okay, so we can skip that. Not skip it, but in the midst of all that, that happened. But also another thing that affected me was that my mom and my dad separated. And that was like, I feel like it's okay to be selfish in certain situations. Because I'm the baby boy, I got two older brothers and a younger sister. And so one of the biggest things for me was that my two older brothers, they had both parents, working together, and they had the opportunity to go to college and stuff, So when
So by the
and
time it was
that
separated.
yeah, that's the tail end. But really, the biggest thing for me when my mom and my dad had first separated, I was in the middle. I was like, I'm talking about, it was tough. I was in the middle. I'm talking about junior high school kid in the middle of two adults. And it was bad, man. It was really bad. It was a lot.
Never would have known that, bro. Never would have known that. Keep going.
And so I know the second time my mom had left and took me and my sister, my mom had, I'm not saying that, I'm just telling my story. So, I mean, I love my mom, and I've grown out of those things, but I know living in South Carolina, because we moved there, me and my mom and my sister, and it was just, I just really hated it there. And my mom is a big church person, so which is cool, but she'd make us go to church, revival every night, praying every night. And I was just like, so I had told my dad, I was like, I hit my dad up and was like, I'm gonna run away because I can't do this, And so he sent my brother to come pick me up or whatever. And then I was back in Virginia. And then we fast forward, I'm just jumping. So I'm back in Virginia. Then eventually my mom was, and this is another thing, and my sister, a lot of that, I don't want to really tell my sister's business.
Yeah, you don't do
But
that.
I would just say my mom, at one point she did put us in I guess the family, as far as Karen, in a situation to where it really, hurt us a lot. But we're not perfect. So that's another thing. But when it was time for me, like graduating, I was accepted to Johnson and Wales. And I was so excited about it
That's
because
what you do cooking and stuff at
yeah, Johnson, yeah,
culinary school. I don't want to be different.
right. And so I got accepted, and I was super excited. Like, oh, it's Johnson Orange. So then I showed my dad. I was just with my dad, and so I showed him the tuition. He was like, you better go to community college. But I mean, but for me, that was just like, I mean, yeah, I was accepted, but it was just like couldn't afford it. So that's where me taking it personal that my two oldest brothers got the opportunity to go to school
Okay.
because the parents were there to assist somewhat, even if they didn't have to do it 100% or whatever. They got scholarships. And like my oldest brother, he was accepted. He was at school, West Virginia Tech,
Wow.
playing ball,
Wow. Come on, man.
and dropped out.
You up and you didn't even get a chance to go.
Here I am. Look, here I am, and I ain't knocking it. Here I am filling out FAFSA forms for Southside Virginia Community College, trying to get that. And at that time, I think I had my oldest child, Christiana, and I was working at Lowe's distribution, and I was like, it just wasn't meant to be.
Right. Right. Okay. Okay.
So whatever year that was, you want me to keep going, or you want to ask?
Well, okay. That's what, like teenage years. How old are you right there?
Right around that time, I was like 19.
Okay. So at what age did you go? You decided to go into the military. Around what age did you do that?
23.
Oh, so you didn't go right after high school.
No, I didn't. I was
Okay.
supposed to be a Virginia State police officer. I was accepted. I was accepted to be a state trooper for Virginia. I just never pursued the final stuff.
Okay. So what led you to, like I say, most people, a lot of times, as soon as they graduate high school, the next step, if they don't do college or like some type of trade, is right to the military. What
It
made
was
you wait there 4 or 5 years before you?
well, Christiana was conceived on, I think, graduation party night.
Okay, okay,
That was kind of it was I was trying to emulate my father, just to being a family man and taking
right.
care of what you need to take care of. So we just put some things on the back burner and just did the best that we could do. In the midst of that, I think I was working for WEBA with Andy Lucy, Bill Hodge,
Yeah,
Darius Aaron, Jim Wood.
yeah.
And so then after that point, I got accepted. I think I started working in corrections or something. But either way, it was a lot going on in my life at that time and everything. And then I was like, I had got surgery when I was working in the DOC. And then I got surgery, and then I joined the military.
Okay. Okay, so you go to the military.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What effect does that have on you? Just from start, because I don't know personally, I haven't done it, but I know there's a process of pretty much like stripping you of what you know your usual habits and reprogramming you to be pretty much what they need you to be. How did you adjust with all of that? Because all of this is like a mental, it's all weighing on your mental, whether you are aware of it or not at the time, right?
It's right.
What you know your usual habits and reprogramming you to be pretty much what they need you to be. How did you adjust with all of that? Because all of this is like a mental, it's all weighing on your mental, whether you are aware of it or not at the time, right?
It's right. So really, what the military did was kind of open up a beast within inside of me,
Mm,
and it's like um I mean, I never had an issue with anything in the military, as far as doing what I was supposed to be doing, the second and third, as far as yet them yelling at me, that didn't phase me, didn't bother me. I was PT stud. That didn't, that was easy peasy. But it's just that the drilling with the whole process is just like, it's just made you, it kind of makes you feel invincible. But if you
Yeah.
already, for me, if you already come from a background where you're strong and I was the smallest in the family, but my dad says I'm pound for pound the strongest, so it's like you gotta fend for your own. And then the military just teaches you something on a whole nother level, which is like, oh man, so what do I do with this?
They say is okay. You have all this energy and some anger and stuff, and they kind of show you ways that you could, if you needed to get it out, I can get it out like this.
And yeah, and so we're gonna, because the final stage of which you're all these questions, it'll be the final stage, which it will end in 2017. But
Okay.
yeah, man, the military, it was the basic training was the best part for me. I got friends from that time that I still communicate with, and I mean, we in basic training, like whether you believe it or not, you go through a lot together. um you got to think about being away from your family. You have people there away from their babies. I was away from my kids. So it takes a lot, and you build a brotherhood in basic training. And without those people going through the things together, like, it's sometimes, if you look at it, probably would have been impossible. Not saying it's impossible, but having those people there that you can connect with, because they're all from different parts of the, from the country, from everywhere.
Right. Right.
So it's definitely a process. But the getting out process, when I had got out, um, they, if you don't get out the way they want you to get out or whatever, they just gonna throw your ass out.
Okay. So go into that. What do you mean by that?
Well, it's pretty much like you. Okay, so it's like a process. When you're getting trained and everything like that, they train you to do these things, train you to do these things, and then you're relying on the military, whether it's for housing or for benefits and things like that. On my transition out, it was so rushed and so quick. I didn't really kind of get that. Let me welcome you back to the civilian world.
They just threw you out there.
Like, boop.
Okay. So of course that's something else to consider mentally. How does that weigh on you? How did you adjust coming back from
Right, that,
one totally different system right back to the civilian world?
look, it was the worst thing I did. I think I moved to California after I got out the military, and I'm telling you, I shouldn't have did that.
How's that? What you got loose out there? What happened?
I just don't like. I mean, I don't care for the way people act in the city.
Mm,
Yeah, I could easily get locked up out there just because Southern hospitality is my thing, and they don't know nothing about it.
right.
So yeah, I know I was in line one night and was in line for at least an hour and a half going to this club in Beverly Hills. And this dude came by and he had like three girls with him or whatever, and had and just jumped the line. And I'm like what? I was like, after that point, the girl I was with at the time, she was like, okay, come on, let's go. Well, no, what the? I was talking to bouncers and I'm like, what is this? Yeah, so she was like, come on, let's go. So that it kind of that anger that was deeply rooted within me was about about to come out, but I suppressed it. And so just remember, suppressed.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, okay, while you were in the military, did anything, as much as you're comfortable talking about, transpire to, was that a good experience overall?
Yeah, for the most part, it was a good experience overall. It did make me. I was definitely. For me, I was more confident. After once being in, I kind of got more confident. For the most parts, self assurance, mentally stronger. But that later in life kind of did some damage.
Okay.
Um, so Yeah.
Okay, so you moving forward, you get out of the military. What's your next course of action? You thrown back into the civilian world. What's your next course of action?
Just life, just trying to figure out, just figure out. I made a lot. I didn't.
You're freezing up.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Say it again. Freezing up. All right. You good.
So I went to California on two separate occasions. The first time was after I got out the military, and that situation wasn't the best situation, and that relationship really, did a number on me as well. But then I remember this, that I was working at Southside Regional Jail, and
All right.
I was there for a little while, and was talking to a lady at the time in California, and so I left to go to California. So I left the job, and left that job and did that. But look, this is a crazy shit. She sent my ass back home.
Why did you do that? What happened? You must have been.
She said I missed my kids too much. Some of that stuff.
Well, I mean, I guess that's honorable. At least you were talking about your kids.
No.
Okay. So we move forward. We won't have to go into every job you own or whatever, but so far you have things that have happened along the way already, that would be considered, some type of trauma, some type of tension. Like you say, you got things that you've been holding in.
And those things were never addressed.
That's what I'm saying. It's just packing in. Let's move it forward.
Okay.
What gets you to the point, or do other things contribute further to the breakdown? From where we just stopped at, going forward to the breakdown, are there other things involved that lead to the breakdown?
I know me and my dad, and we already had our conversation about the breakdown and everything, but it was me and him going back and forth, but also like the deaths that had taken place. It was right around in 2017 is when my breakdown happened. So it was death happening within the family, just crazy stuff, and
Okay, so that day, what happened?
Man, I know about it was some crazy stuff had happened, and it was like somebody killed their family members or whatever. And so, I mean, and this is close because it's my relative, like in-laws or whatever. So, man, I was furious. I was angry. I mean, mad, just mentally. So I went to work, and something triggered something, and anxiety took over. I just felt my body expanding and swelling, and just started crying. And I mean, I'm talking about, and I was still holding it in, but I mean, I was in the manager's office, and I was like about to just go through the wall, and I just kneeled down, man, just crying. I mean, and they were scared. They were like, "Chris, are you okay? Do you need some help?" They were like, and I just just leave me alone. And I'm just it's crazy. So at that point, they were like, "Okay, well, we need to let's see if we can get you some help." And so I called the resources that I had, and I met this wonderful lady, Miss Henderson. And that's when my therapy started.
Okay, so let's stop right there. Now, those that might tune in, we all have our own stories. And a lot of times, especially within our community, you talk to be tough and hold it in, suck it up. That's one of the most unhealthy things that we could be taught to do, to not have some way to address the things that we've seen. Because we must realize too, a lot of times us as adults, I think we forget that just because they're children don't mean that they don't have some type of perception of what's going on. And that even though they may not be able to articulate what they've seen, they know what they felt. And that should be considered as well. But sometimes we just say, oh, they children, they don't know. They know. Like you say, even at a young age, you saw and you were internalizing it, even though you weren't able to really articulate it and express it. So, okay, go until you start therapy.
Okay. So we had several sessions. And so she broke down, she went down to just like everything, like, my relationship with my dad, and then, family, this, that, and the third. Like she's the one that told me I should cut my dad off. So I'm gonna tell y'all right now, during my breakdown, I did change my number. I did cut my dad off. Only person that
Without you, because I don't need you to tell me like all of the details, because I'm sure a lot of that's like personal stuff, between. But how intense did it have to be for her being a professional to tell you that that was a good idea?
Not necessarily. It doesn't have to be so intense. It could be something small that could create just a whole snowball effect.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
I feel like she was just surgical and pinpointed certain things. But she also told me to write a letter to him, and I'm not like a good writer person, so I just changed my number and like, look, I'm not talking to nobody.
You say choose A or B. Let's go with B.
And but for real, like and it's my thing is, and it's not a secret. I just felt like honestly, I felt like my dad at some point he doubted my capabilities. And so, and I, me and my dad, like that, my dad's like my best friend, and because I'm sure
Jones. I say Mr. Jones, one cool brother, man.
he is. And so that was a growth, a growth that needed to happen. Because now me and him we're thick as thieves like right now, so, and that needed to happen to better our relationship as father and son.
Okay, we might touch on that some more, but okay, how long was the therapy? And in that, what type of, okay, because for the time we've been connected, we've had conversations where I've seen you on the brink, but you didn't go over it.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen you like ready to, because of certain things that were going on.
Certain things triggered.
You were in go mode. You was right there at the line. What did you learn that keeps you from crossing that line?
Man, I feel like people, keeping good people in your circle for one, because yeah, you talked me off that bridge.
Bro, I was concerned, bro. Because
But
I know you, I knew you meant what you were saying and what you were feeling, and I was just hoping that something I said was getting in, and thankfully it did.
it did. So for me, I'm passionate about things, and I'm passionate about right and wrong. But I guess a lot of crying helps. I had my punching bag, but I got mad one night and kept hitting it and knocked it off the tree. So and so that punching bag, I just posted a video too.
I saw it. You
Yeah,
was
so
getting through it too, man.
and that's Miss Henderson. She suggested, because at one point in this house where I live in now, and I was they call me the little Hope, baby Hope, and I get mad. I'm not gonna hit, if it's I'm not gonna hit nobody, especially if it's females or whatever. But I'll put a hole in the wall. I'll tear some shit up. I've done a lot of damage. But it's like, do damage, replace it, or put these hands on and blank out on somebody and then be in jail. Like, and I'm talking about, close people. not no stranger.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, a punching bag, cry, cry, cry,
And
cry.
you know what? And somebody might listen to that and be like, "Cry." Listen, if you only knew what the alternative was, you'd rather it be crying.
It's like this. Me crying has saved people's lives. I
Look,
mean, but it's
enough said. I know. I know. Like you said, I know. For real.
and it's
And
okay. It's a good way to release that aggression that built up. You know, I mean, it really is. It took me a long time to realize it. It took me therapy to realize it. She had me crying in the office on every time, and she had the tissue right there.
and look, it's cleansing. I know. Like I said, I know we get brought up. Men don't cry. Boys don't cry, man. You hold all that stuff in, it begins to eat. It's going to come out. It's like this. That it is going in you. It's coming out in some form, whether that's violence, whether that's creativity. You'd rather it be tears than be some of the other alternatives because it's coming out.
Mhm. And another thing is like for me, so of course, you know, eventually I separated from Verizon in 2017. I started being an independent contractor. I've been doing that, been working for myself since 2017. And
Tell what you do. Tell it. I mean, you probably can't tell everything you do, but
oh,
give a your overview of what you said. You say independent contractor, but what does that entail?
we pretty much we do a lot of a lot of residential things like light fixtures, ceiling fans, and stuff like that. Right now, we're trying to direct the energy a little bit more to the commercial art installs because like last year we went to Arizona for art installs, so you know want to be able to kind of be in that market for that, but I still want to do my residential stuff because without my residential people, I wouldn't be where I'm at today.
That's your base right there, the residential, right?
Yes,
Did
sir.
the other situation come through? I don't want to say if it. All right, cool. I won't speak on.
It's
Yeah.
questionable.
Uh,
It's
did you
questionable.
did you send the invoice?
Look, man, he don't even know what he doing.
Okay, we ain't got to talk about it. We ain't got to talk
But
about it.
so also for me, working you know, working for myself and going to clients' houses, that's to me now that's like a form of therapy. To be able to I have a project every day. I can have a project, and so my energy is out into is put out into that. And so even on a if I have a bad night, and I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna drive, and sometimes I don't even have the radio on. I just drive and just focus on my project and my schedule for the day. And then once
And
I
that's
get,
why I even hate texting or calling you during the day because I know you really be focused on what you're doing.
a lot of people don't get it. I'm glad you do, but some people don't.
That's why I only hit you up. Like today, I hit you, but usually, if I don't hit you in the morning, I usually don't really hit you because I know you locked into what you're doing, so you're not gonna hit me back
And
yet.
it's my escape. You know, a lot of people they see like for me, I can't speak for everybody else, but like, people say, okay, you're in business for yourself, you're an entrepreneur. Oh, you're just trying to get this bag and this. No, really, it's my peace. When I go out and do art installs, it's my peace. Like when I went and did that playset today, I was outside. It was nice. It was my peace. You know, I was in my element.
Yeah.
When you're able to just be naturally in your element, doing your thing, which you enjoy, that's like we said, that's reward. That's a reward. It's a reward within itself. For me, everybody don't look at it that way, but I know I do.
Okay. Now, what you saying that is that something you found through therapy, or is that something you realized once you started doing the art installs and stuff that
Once,
was like, hold up, this is Pete. This is what I like. This gets me away from the madness right here.
so 2000, okay, so 2017, I started doing contract work for a company called Go Configure, and I was traveling everywhere. I was traveling 3 hours away, driving to Virginia, doing these builds and stuff like that until I came across one guy up on the coast. He told me about the business platform that I use. And I said, I'm gonna try that out. So I tried it out. And now I'm still using it. And it's just it's just so much better. It's clarity to me. I mean, it makes sense to me. Um
And I'd imagine it gives you some sense of control after so many things have happened that you didn't have control over.
Right.
Every day you got control over GSD. Can't nobody regulate
Right.
that.
I could tell you yes, I could tell you no. If I'm vibing with you through the message, then I can feel it. I can feel it. You know what I'm saying? I've been doing this long enough to I can catch a vibe just through messaging, so I can know whether it's going to be difficult or I know it's going to be awesome experience. Um, so it's I mean, yeah, and one of the biggest things that I realized too was that um too many people around it build I because okay, so let me keep it a buck. So I have depression, I have major depression and anxiety, and I never really understood why so when my anxiety flares up, my body literally swells.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's crazy. I don't get it. But anyway, and I
Okay.
just feel tight. I just feel like tight. And I'm like, yo, something ain't right. So I realized that. But either way, I realized I really don't like being around a lot of people anymore, unless they're like close people.
Right.
Um, just because, it's just like people are rude and I don't want nobody to trigger me or for me to, you know, because you like when people say 0 to 100, I mean, yeah, like it's not a joke. It doesn't take much to trigger a person that's already mad to a certain extent, and he's doing his best to stay out the way, and you want to poke the bear. So
And see, you already like physicality and stuff anyway, right? So you just invite me to have some fun. You want to tussle? Oh, I've been waiting for some tussle, baby.
I've been waiting. Tag me in.
Been
Let
waiting
me
for some
hey.
tussle, baby.
And it's
Yeah.
just and so it's like I have natural this natural pure energy and adrenaline running through me. Um and
Yeah.
then if you mix that with anger, then it's just
That can be serious, man.
to be serious. So um I just try to stay in my lane, man.
Oh, okay, okay. Like I said, okay, because we touched on one thing, but through therapy,
Uh-huh.
what did she or did she give you any type of tools or anything tangible that when it starts building up, you can go to?
Yeah, that's the only thing she could tell me is that I needed to stop breaking stuff. I need to go buy a punching bag.
Oh, she kept it simple. Okay.
That was and it look, man, I mean, it worked. And so I like the way it transitioned because that worked and that got me through everything. Now I can just zone out and go do projects, art installs, ceiling fans or
Maybe one little last piece. Okay, you say you had cut some people off during this time frame, because that's just what you felt was best thing to do. Once you went back to them, were they all receptive of your reasoning, or and
the
you don't have
only
to go into whatever you're comfortable talking
no,
about? What you do.
the only thing I really cared about was, of course, I had to get my kids my number to them. But the only thing I was really concerned about was my dad, because he didn't know what was going on. I was out of work for like 2 months. I was on FMLA. My dad
And
didn't know.
was this period before when you didn't talk to them?
In 2017.
Yeah, you didn't talk to them the whole year, or
No, it was probably a few months, or might have been longer. I don't know. It's
okay.
behind us. It's behind us, but I'm trying to. I'm not sure. Everything was because it was so much stuff going on. It's just this life. It felt like just the weight of the world just came crashing down on me. Like really, I mean, I just really I kept myself. I played. Stayed in front of the video game. Didn't talk to nobody. I had very, very sad moments where I would just be crying to myself. Um, it was that was just bad, and so I just I don't know how long I stopped talking to him, but eventually, when I did start talking,
So what day or what made you just pick up the phone one day if that's what happened and say, let me call my dad, let me call my pop.
I felt like what Miss Henderson as she was working with me, because I was able to talk to her over the phone too if I couldn't get to a session. So I
Okay.
think the way she was maneuvering me to channel,
So she
what,
you was still with her during this process.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, keep going, keep going.
So she was holding my hand through it all.
Okay. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with
So yeah, man. I mean, like that's why I still know her name, because she saved my life.
that.
So yeah, I've said a few months, I don't know, whatever it was. I just like, you know what? I think I actually drove to Dad's house and told him, I said, Dad, do you know what's been going on with me? I've been in therapy. I've been on FMLA. I'm about to go crazy. I'm about to go kill somebody.
What did he say?
He just looked at me and he just said, this dad is just like, he just be listening, and then he's like, well, I'm glad you didn't. But he was receptive. He listened, and
I'm sure he was happy to see you. I'm sure, even though he might not have said it, I'm sure he was happy to see
yeah. I mean, it's me and my dad, we got an unbreakable bond, man. And I think I needed that to be a better person so I could be a better son, and he could, vice versa. So it was. Dad might not say it, but Dad loves when I come to visit.
you. He know he
So
gonna have some excitement at least for that few minutes if he don't have no more during the day.
you got that right. But yeah, man. So it was just, he listened. I told him what was going on. I told him why I did what I did. And I told him about some situations. And he just listened, and I gave him a hug and everything, and he's, said we love each other, and we had a couple of drinks, and we just, continued the rest of the evening just talking.
Okay, that's powerful. Well, look, man, that's interesting. You started off with a bang, man. That's interesting. I hope anyone that tunes in and watches, you know, whatever parts of this story resonate with you, realize you're not out here by yourself. All of our stories are different, but we all have a story. And 9 times out of 10, we all are dealing with something, if we haven't dealt with it yet, that we haven't addressed. And it's shaped, sometimes it can shape your whole adulthood if you don't address it. You'll find yourself fighting your childhood or trying to sort out your childhood, your whole adulthood. But that's why I thank you for coming on and being an example of someone that got help. Because see, and I hear some people say, I don't need no therapy. What am I going to talk to a stranger for? Well, a lot of times those same people that say that are upset because the friends around them don't listen. So why not pay a professional? If you're already upset because the people around you think they don't care, try therapy, you know. And if it's really that serious, it doesn't have to be that serious, but if it's really that serious, you won't care what nobody says. You won't care if they laugh or criticize you. I'm trying to get right because I can't live for your opinion don't pay my bills. You know what I'm saying? Your opinion not gonna give me peace at night. So I gotta do this for me. So I appreciate you coming on and discussing that, bro. I know we didn't go too deep,
No.
but I did want to have this discussion because listen, whether people get diagnosed, undiagnosed, whether they speak about it, don't, we all have dealt with something in our heads that we couldn't just quite rectify. And
And
sometimes it pushes you over the edge. Go ahead.
no, and I mean, it's an honor to be able to me, it's an honor for you to actually consider me, asking me these questions, just based off of, because I'm sure some things you just heard, that you didn't know before. But one thing, I was thinking about this is like, one thing for me is I'd rather tell you, that I might be a nutcase, or I might be crazy, but I'd rather me tell you before you think you know something, and then you're gonna hold it over my head. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just gonna piss me off. So, sometimes being transparent, especially if we're just, talking about mental health, being transparent. Everything that you see on the outside, it doesn't mean what's going on the inside, you know. And I do smile. I smile a lot, but I'm at peace. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm smiling. This is me genuinely smiling because I know what I went through back then, and I'm here now. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it brings me joy to be able to share this because yes, I had a lot of dark days, and I'm gonna tell you right now, sometimes I do, scale back, but I do have good people in my circle. I do know how to channel my frustrations, my anger, and things like that. The more you hold it in, it's gonna blow up one day, and it's not good when you blow up. But yeah, I appreciate you, bro.
No, thank you, man. Listen, that helped me, and I'm sure it's going to help someone else because it takes courage to even get on here and tell any parts of that. Because, like you said, we live where even though it's being discussed, it's still some stigma to it, and some of our people, just people in general, don't want to take advantage of a resource that's there.
And a lot of these people have jobs that will pay, will
Yeah,
cover that.
yeah, employee assistance program.
Yeah,
A lot of times you'll get at least 4 or 5 free sessions or pay a little small deductible.
yeah, free. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but it's
Well, and that's a good thing for y'all on your jobs. Look into it. And look, you don't have to go around your local area. If you feel like I don't want to go to the people around here because they're gonna talk. Well, around here you probably well no, I'm not gonna say that because that would sound like I thought I knew some. No. Go to who you want to go to. And if you don't want to go local, go unlocal. I'll leave it like that.
because one thing I will say, just throwing this in there, therapists and counselors, they have therapists and counselors too.
Listen, I absolutely know that for a fact.
Yes.
I was dating a therapist who was in therapy a couple times a week. And I'm not saying that to shame. That's just the truth.
But we all need somebody to talk to.
Yeah, that helped her. And in turn, she was able to help other people. There's no shame in it. And I'm sure her therapist had therapists. We're the only ones, and I heard somebody using this example. Michael Jordan's considered the greatest, but he had a coach. Muhammad Ali considered the greatest, but he had a trainer. Usain Bolt had a trainer. All these people, Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith, LeBron James considered one of the greatest. He had a coach. People that work on jobs or whatever, you get trained to do that. But somehow we feel like we're going to go through life without some help, without a coach. We want to be good at it just like we're good at on our job or in our talent, our skill or whatever. And a lot of times we get training for that, but we won't get any type of training or coaching for your own life. Just makes sense. Hey, look, shout out your company, man. Shout out your company, any socials, anything, man.
GSD 360 Custom Services, and we got Fly Society Custom Designs.
How can they find you? How can they find you?
You should be able to just Google it. Let me see. Hold on. Let me stop. I'm just going to show you if you want to look, see some of the things we've done or, things like of that nature. But this is it right here.
And I'll put your info in the description and things like that. It's a little blurry. Y'all go like the page, go follow. Go follow. You say GSD 360 Custom.
It's on Instagram.
That follow button on Instagram. And that way you can check out his work, some really dope stuff.
I appreciate it, man. I really do.
Well, listen, man, I know you had a long day. It's been a long day. I got a long day tomorrow. I got to start heading down towards Florida. So thankfully the weather's been nice. So it should be a nice ride. Hopefully DOT don't mess with me. Oh, but man, I'm gonna let you out, get to enjoying your evening. And I know you just got home, so I appreciate you. You literally set up and we did this as soon as you got home. So for that, I appreciate it.
Definitely. No problem.
Listen, thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Different information is going to be in the description. Thank y'all for tuning in. We're going to be coming back real soon with some good content. Y'all take care. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah, man, that was good. That was good. That was good.